Hello and welcome, I'm Gliscor 101, and this is Uniquely New Zealand. Today we're discussing the America's Cup, which sounds like something big and important, but turns out it's just some grown men playing with boats. And, as it also turns out, New Zealand is freakishly good at boats. So the America's Cup, it's not exactly the most pristine sporting event. However, in New Zealand we get into pretty much whatever we're good at. And other than rugby, America's Cup is the one sport New Zealand is good at. Do not get me fucking started on rugby. New Zealand is a country of rugby fanatics and I am fucking sick of it. So boats. This year New Zealand, spoiler alert, won the America's Cup and took home the cup. Hell, we did such a good job, the races only lasted 9 days. This was the actual results table in our favor. While I could talk about this crazy insane win for New Zealand, let's instead talk about the biggest flop in New Zealand sports history. The last America's Cup. So back in 2013, there was a lot of hype for the America's Cup. The last major sporting event anyone cared about in New Zealand was the 2011 Rugby World Cup. It was held on our own turf and we won for the first time since 1987. So when it was time for New Zealand to jump from rugby ball into boating, all of the country was excited to see how Emirates Team New Zealand would do. And they did really well, to begin with. The meat of the 2013 America's Cup boiled down to races between Team Emirates New Zealand and Team Oracle USA. Whichever team would win 9 races first takes the cup. The races began and Team NZ took the first 3 races with ease, but then, in a shocking twist, it was discovered that Team USA were a bunch of filthy cheaters. Yes, it was discovered that Team Oracle USA had used weights to unfairly swing the race in their favor. As punishment, they lost 2 points, which left New Zealand at 3 and Team Oracle at -2. Fast forwarding 11 days into the America's Cup, New Zealand is dominating America, with a score to 8-1, 7 points ahead and 1 point away, one single victory from taking the cup. It was a surefire victory, and all of New Zealand knew it. Keep in mind, because of the time difference, races were airing at about 9 o'clock AM New Zealand time. And because this was also 4 years ago, I was in high school. So, on September 19th, 2013, there were a lot of people out of class for the morning. They were all at home watching the races. Hell, my school had an official hostel where out-of-town kids and exchange students could stay, and the kids living there were allowed to skip first period just to watch these races. That's right, the hostel attached to my school let kids skip school to watch a boat race. The whole country is watching, the most anticipated event in New Zealand sports history. The day New Zealand is crowned as victors against the cheating, vile Team USA. Everyone's excited. Children are sailing boats in their bathtub. They failed. Yes, on the 19th of September, Team New Zealand didn't seal the deal and America managed to bring their score up from 1-2. But that's okay. New Zealand still had a 7-point lead. All they needed to do was keep racing until they won one more race. Over the next week, you could feel hope being drained from the country. In 7 short days, New Zealand went from having an unprecedented, definitive lead to losing everything. And it was beautiful. You could see it happening, egos being destroyed, hopes being shattered. It went from everyone being confident, no, we're totally gonna win, we got this, the boys have this. Then, about halfway through the week, everyone was quiet. There was kind of a beautiful silence of anticipation. Everybody was thinking, no, this is not going to happen. No way. One more race. We've got this. But no, they failed to win a single race in 7 extra days of racing, and Team America won the America's Cup. So that's the story of the 2013 America's Cup. New Zealand had a strong, unprecedented lead and lost everything. And I find it hysterical. And I find it truly uniquely New Zealand. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go hit myself over the head with a shovel until I forget everything I just googled about sports.